Lagos State Governor, Babajide Sanwo-Olu, on Wednesday hosted the official launch of the Produce for Lagos program and a 500 billion naira offtake guarantee fund. The event, held in Lagos, was attended by several state governors, including Dapo Abiodun of Ogun State, Governor Umar Bago of Niger State. The initiative aims to significantly boost food production and supply, reduce imports, and enhance agricultural productivity in Lagos and across Nigeria. The 500 billion naira fund is designed as an investment vehicle to attract private capital, stabilize food prices, and de-risk agricultural activities. Other dignitaries in attendance included the Chief of Defense Staff, General Christopher Musa, and the Chairman of Holdings, Tony Elumelu, who pledged the 25 billion naira to support the fund. In the meantime, Lagos State Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu and his Niger State counterpart, Mohammed Umaru Bago, signed a memorandum of understanding on the Produce for Lagos initiative. The Produce for Lagos initiative is a long-term strategic partnership between Niger and Lagos states, where Niger State is expected to produce food items including paddy rice, tubers, legumes, and grains, while Lagos State will be in a position to be a major organized market for the produce. The symbiotic relationship will mean that farmers in Niger State will have a ready market for their produce, while residents of Lagos State can be assured availability and price stability of food items. Other states that are involved in that initiative include Taraba State, Ogun State, Kogi State, all of them coming together in partnership, and as Governor Sanwo-Olu pointed out, to promote the Renewed Hope initiative and President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's goal in terms of ensuring food security. I'm now being joined by Prince Samuel Joseph Samuel, an accomplished entrepreneur and founder of Origin Tech Group, a Nigerian conglomerate with major ventures in agriculture, automotive manufacturing, and technology, which impacts about 1.8 million clients worldwide. Good to have you on the program, Prince Samuel.
Thank you for having me.
Okay, as it was pointed out, this is the Produce for Lagos initiative is a public-private sector initiative. Now, the FAO, the United Nations body, says about 26 million people are looking for food in Nigeria. Now, about 21 million of those people are in Lagos. And here we have Lagos State government saying, okay, we'll provide the leadership in this regard. And the whole idea is about produce and the market and the value chain. If you could just take us through, as one of the partners in this project, what you understand about this Produce for Lagos project before I come to the granular details.
Well, thank you very much for having me and the audience. The Produce for Lagos program is an initiative by Lagos State to fill the gap which hitherto has bedeviled the Nigerian agricultural sector, an organized market. Lagos is a huge market, 14 trillion food market, and you should expect that that market should be able to encourage or become a huge opportunity that is able to stimulate production. But that has also not happened in the last 40 years. And looking at what happened around the world, we saw that this is a major gap that needs to be filled. And of course, Lagos State partnered with other stakeholders to ensure that this happened. And of course, started with the construction of the largest food logistics hub, which is nearing completion, and then begin to put capital around supporting aggregators who can offtake and pay. And that will enable this same capital to be able to guarantee production. And with guaranteed production at the right price, you are sure that anybody can go there, come to Lagos, pick a production contract, and go back to their states and produce targeting Lagos. That's basically what the fund is aimed to achieve.
No, but how will the fund work? I know that, okay, I served on the board of the Lagos State Security Trust
Fund, yes.
Now, we raised money,
yes.
Protected,
yes.
supported the agencies.
Yes.
Now, this Produce for Lagos Fund,
yes.
it's similar to that security fund.
Yes.
Now, so what are the guarantees? Mr. Lumelu has already promised 25 billion fund.
Yes.
Now, what will the fund go into? How will it protect groups like yours, Origin Technical Group, that are partners and other partners involved?
Okay, so currently business is being done in Lagos. We still eat. Food is being supplied. But you don't have the kind of organization that Lagos State has put into agriculture now. And with that kind of agriculture organization, you need to scale. And in planning to scale, you need to provide capital. So if you come into Lagos today with the Produce for Lagos Fund, you go online, you apply. Your application will be considered. You will say the locations meet the criteria of the fund. And then, of course, you are given a production offtake guarantee by an aggregator. These aggregator, of course, have a definite date which you would supply this crop to him. And then, of course, he picks that guarantee and is able to go to his bank because the bank know that this is a fund that is well supported and there's guarantee that the day you produce it to be offtaked, the day you supply it to be offtaked, then the bank can fund you. And basically, that's what the fund does. The fund is designed to de-risk the sector, make lending easier and cheaper, and guarantee that when you bring it to market, you get paid. Now, the fund over time is going to represent different kind of product. But for now, it's post-harvest loss that we are addressing. And what is post-harvest losses? Currently, you have about 50% of the food that comes to Lagos go to waste. And that's post-harvest losses. And this basically means you have an incremental in price by 50%. These will be a thing of the past with the logistics hub and Produce for Lagos. And that's how the fund is expected to work.
I like the fact that you keep referring to Lagos State. But this is not the first time that Lagos State will go into the agriculture business. You recall the immortal rice mill.
Yes.
Now, one of the major criticisms of the immortal rice mill is that they built an elaborate thing, about supply of rice, but no forethought about paddy. So how is this going to be sustained? Are we going to go the same route? I know you say states will collaborate, they will supply produce, and there is a value chain that is in place. And in any case, you are into automotive and all of that. Why are you into agriculture?
Okay.
What's your background in agriculture?
Okay, so first let me answer that question. I think the first question to address is Lagos has done this before with Kebbi. And Kebbi is a major producer of rice. Lagos is a big market. And of course, to add value to it, Lagos built this very huge plant, which I think is a very novel thing to do. And of course, because of the challenge of an unorganized production that has bedeviled Nigeria, the supply of paddy have not been sufficient. And if you check what are other countries doing right, first they organize their markets. Two, then they scale production. Production needs to happen at some scale before you can begin to say you're making profit. If somebody is farming in, say, Taiwan or Thailand, producing rice at about $100 per ton, and you in Nigeria, you are producing at $400 per ton or $300 per ton, you can't compete. You cannot compete. What needs to happen is for us to organize market to support production. Before today, you have production leading markets, and we are in a capitalist society. It is market, which is demand, that leads production. And that's basically what we're doing in Lagos. As to Origin Group has been in the business of agriculture for 30 years. Everybody who knows me, Origin Group, knows that that's what we have been doing. And our core interest in agriculture comes from the fact that why is this so simple thing looking so difficult? And over the years, we have worked with different government and administrations to see this happen. And I think for the first time, we seem to be getting it right, because our argument from inception is that we must do what other people are doing. First, deal with markets. 2, scale production. Transition your farmers from subsistent smallholder farmers to middle and then large income farmers. So you take, for example, our farmers today. Their average income per farmer is about 2 million. 2 million naira. And why? One is post-harvest losses, farm gate issues. Second is the fact that there is no reliable input. They have challenges with input. Third is unorganized market. Now, with what we are doing Produce for Lagos, all of this will be a thing of the past. Our hope and our belief is that we can support farmers who are with Produce for Lagos, point them to the right inputs, point them to the right support, point them to the right market. Now, if the input supplier tells the farmer that he can get 10 tons per hectare, and the input supplier is involved from the beginning, this farmer can get 10 tons per hectare. But if the farmer gets only 3 tons per hectare, automatically you know from there his revenue is challenged.
Okay, Prince Samuel.
Yes.
I mean, we've been talking about agriculture forever. Food
Yes.
security.
Yes, sir.
When Obasanjo was head of state,
Yes.
there was Operation Feed the Nation.
Correct.
When Shagari became president, there was Green Revolution.
Correct.
Let me just jump. When President Jonathan was president, Dr. Akinwumi Adesina,
Yes.
now of the AFDB,
Yes.
was using the slogan, "No farmer, no nation."
Yes, correct.
Now, President Tinubu is talking about food security.
Yes.
Mrs. Sholakwe Amon
Yes.
was on the morning show
Yes.
of the Rice News during the week.
Yes.
She too was saying, "Oh, Lagos will get it right. Lagos will get it right." Okay, how are we going to get it right when we have issue of bad roads? We have issues of infrastructure. We have issues of access to land. And above all, General Christopher Musa, when he was at the Lagos event, was talking about security. That if we get security right, maybe we will make better progress. All of these are obstacles. What miracles? What is new?
Well, every country you go to around the world have similar challenges like us. There's no country that doesn't have its own peculiarity. You just showed Thailand and Cambodia. And these are major rice producers around the world. I'm not sure people are aware that that crisis could be a crisis that would impact a supply of rice to our world. But to come quickly to your question. Now, truth be told, every country have challenges. Nigeria also has its own. We are dealing with it. But I think for the first time, we are doing the right thing. And the right thing is deal with market, organize your market. Second, organize production. On the other hand, you will see that Mr. President recently flagged off 2,000 tractors, out of which you also have some bulldozers and agro equipment. On the back of it, on the back of that program, is organizing the farmers and creating what is called farm clusters. And these farm clusters will take away what you call insecurity, drought, and the rest of them. Currently, what you have is subsistent farmers that are not clustered. So you have farmers in this location, then you have to travel 5 kilometers before another farmer, and then like that. They are all scattered all around the place. What we are saying is all around the world, you have a secure, defined locations where you have asked 200 farmers, 100 farmers to gather and farm. If you have those specific areas, you can provide security, you can provide support for the farmers, you can provide fertilizer, you can provide access road and the rest of them. Now, Nigeria is a very large nation, and solving the problem of road will take some time. But we must tell ourselves, why is it easy to import rice from Thailand, import sugar from Brazil, import other items from South Africa like beef, than it is easy to produce from Nigeria and ship to our nearest market? I think the core thing here is, over there, you see somebody who is shipping rice, shipping because he knows how to distribute what he's selling, which means he has an organized market. Why can't this also happen to our rice mill and the rest of them? Well, I don't want to talk about inconsistent policy and all the government issues. I believe that when you put capital right, people will gravitate towards it. And that's what we're doing in Lagos.
Okay, I read a comment. Somebody was saying Nigeria's problem is not lack of food. It's lack of a system. Now, we have 5 governors coming together.
Yeah.
Ogun. I think Ondo also sent a deputy governor.
Yes.
Kogi sent. Taraba was there. Farmer Bago from Niger State was also there. Lagos hosted everybody. They were signing MOU. When Farmer Bago left the Lagos State event, he went to sign an agreement with
Dangote.
Alhaji Aliko Dangote and all of that. Okay, how about sustainability? By 2027, some of these governors will no longer be there.
Yes.
So another governor comes tomorrow. He says he's not interested in a motorized mill. He says he's not interested in the project that you say you are involved in towards Ekpe. So what happens? Somebody else goes to Niger State tomorrow. He may say that his own priority is not agriculture. His interest is somewhere else. How do we ensure this policy consistency so that people don't just use agriculture to impress the people and then they do nothing sustainable about it?
Thank you. I think I'll answer this question in another way. Nigeria is a $233 billion food market. Agro and food-related drinks and things like that. 233 billion food market. That is a huge market that every governor, every councillor, every local government chairman, every president should be interested in. Let us check what we make from the oil sector or from other sectors. This is the biggest sector contributing to our GDP. In fact, I joke with people. I say, you want to do anything to the GDP? Just make sure you transition the farmers that are earning 2 million to 5 million or 6 million, and the GDP will blow. I think that food will continue to be a major and relevant factor to every government. And you can check it. Please check the trend. Every government that has come to power since 1999 has hit this food crisis every 4 years. And we know why. But I can tell you that with the approach we are taking now, and private sector coming in heavily, putting capital behind it, and then organizing markets, I believe it will become more attractive. Why? I can tell you that currently Lagos State generates generate the most revenue from agriculture, but very little than what it should generate. If the market is organized, you have a 14 to 16 trillion naira food market. And you as a state, even if you make 1% from it, sir, you know what it is. So what we are saying is that it is possible for this sector to become even a revenue generating component of the government's attention. It will drive the government attention. So I believe that what we need to do is to reorganize it and put capital around it. And like I said, both government, private sector, and even farmers, everybody will gravitate towards it. And I have so much faith that we are doing it right this time around. I mean, Lagos is building the largest food logistics hub. We are building middle-level market. You've seen cold chain. Also, there are 150 trucks. Those trucks are about 450 of them. You have also seen funds to support aggregators and farmers. And I can tell you that this time around, we will, by the grace of God, do it right. Let's not forget that agric is the closest to the grassroots all over the world. And if you meet the president of Brazil today, or the president of Thailand, or any other president around the world, the first thing they will discuss with you is that, come, I have produce to sell. I'm hoping that one day, Nigeria will become that country where our president, our governors travel to say, come, I have excess soya beans and all of that to sell, just to generate revenue and keep these people busy.
Samuel, in the Lagos example that you have cited, what I see is that the emphasis will seem to be on urban food security. Why the emphasis on agriculture within the urban areas and not rural emphasis?
Thank you.
Why the shift?
Thank you. So so what are we currently doing? We're doing subsistence agriculture and smallholder farmers. What really? Let's go back really to the medieval age. You find that man actually grow only what he eats or plucks from the tree and all of that and sustain himself, which is subsistent agriculture. What you find is that these rural farmers produce and sell little and keep the remaining for what they will eat throughout the year. Now, when you are talking about urban agriculture, you're actually talking about rural agriculture because it can't happen without first going to the rural. And what's the point here? You get the farmer who is currently doing 1 hectare, sir, to begin to do 5 or 10 hectares. And what have you done? More food for him, money for drugs, money for school for his children, better livelihood for him. That's what you have done. Okay. Because those are the guys that live on farms. Okay. Rural area are farms. Okay. So we are providing food to them.
Okay, I get that point.
Yes.
But where are the farms in Lagos? This was the question I asked Mrs. Sholape Amond when she was on the morning show. Because it looks like Lagos is relying on for rice before now on Kebbi State. Now produce for Lagos. Lagos is relying on Taraba, Kogi, Ondo, Ogun State, and all that. Where are the farmers in Lagos?
Thank you. I think there's also this misconception that there are no farmers in Lagos. But I think by the time you travel to Ikorodu area, Ekpe, and the rest of them, you find lots of farmers. And then come down to Badagry axis, you find lots of farmers. Lagos launched the food system.
Not fishermen, no.
No, I'm coming. I'm coming. No. I'm telling you.
Have lagoons.
You have cassava, horticulture that you see eating in Lagos. More than 50% of it, of Ewedu and the rest of them, come from here. They come from Lagos. Now, but let's fast forward, including tomato. The largest cluster of greenhouses in Nigeria are in Lagos. Now, but let's fast forward. In 2020, Lagos launched the Food System Roadmap. The Food System Roadmap is the first study by any subnational of how to produce, manage its food security. And in fact, what Lagos State is doing is the first of its kind by any first national to build a food reserve for itself. Think forward. I mean, we saw what happened during COVID. We saw what happened during NSAS, where the whole country was shut down and food became a problem and state had to intervene. But let me give you this. Lagos currently is food sufficient in pork. It's the largest exporter of pork. Currently. Lagos currently is the largest producer of fish in Nigeria. Fish. About 137.
More than Delta, Rivers, and Bayelsa?
Yes, sir. It's the largest because Lagos have both the artisanal fishermen and they have some large chunk of producers who are producing in cages and the rest of them. And this is a subsistent, consistent policy that Lagos State has encouraged that made it become so. I think about 137,000 tons of fish is produced in Lagos, larger than any other state, even some of the coastal states. And you can name it. In some of the product line, Lagos is 40% sufficient. And in some, is 2% like rice. But I can also tell you that Lagos is one of the states that should be able to produce rice on its lagoons. Move to places like Bayelsa. Bayelsa should be also one of the largest rice producers. Like we recently discovered 2-3 years ago by my group, that Anambra volume of rice produced in Anambra is huge, more than several states that we even look at. So most of the states we think are not producing are actually producing. What is happening is that there's no organized market to take from those producers, and that's what Lagos is doing. And that's why this project is called Produce in Lagos, Produce for Lagos. So it's not only produce for Lagos. Produce in Lagos deals with what you can produce within Lagos, and Produce for Lagos what you can produce from upcountry for Lagos.
Anyway, yesterday I was at a wedding party. Chrissy Bosi invited me to an event, and I met a woman there who said she's involved in agriculture. And she was complaining that agriculture is not such a profitable venture in this country. So how do you encourage private sector people like her who are interested in agriculture and who have had challenges, in terms of, going along that line? How do you encourage them? You are in the private sector yourself.
I must tell you that all over the world, agriculture is one of the most challenged sectors that demand a lot of attention, passion, commitment, and forward-looking leadership. Recently, President Trump went about some trade balancing issues, and he came with some trade tariffs. And as a countermeasure, China, who is the largest importer of U.S. pork and U.S. soybeans, decided to retaliate. And that retaliation simply means millions and millions of tons of pork that goes to China monthly just stopped. And I can tell you about 20 different products that are impacted just because of this decision between China and the US. Now, the same thing happened between South Africa and the US. Basically, the most basic product in the world today is food. Unfortunately, is perishable, and also you have to be busy, keep the farmers busy, keep the rural areas busy. So nations around the world always look for where to dump food. And because of that, if you are not very strategic, and they are not dumping food, they are actually dumping jobs. They are looking for where to dump whatever they produce so that other can be enabled, their own local farmers can be enabled to continue to produce. So you see states like America, the US just intervened by creating intervention for farmers. So farmers who have these challenges can approach an agency and get something back. Now, that will continue to happen so long as the rural areas remain the way they are, and agric is a major thing that produces food for the people. Now, that's one issue that is a global thing. Agric is a big thing. We are just not looking at it the right way. I thank God that recently is gaining the right traction, and there's more discussion around agriculture, and the private sector is even looking at it. Now, for Nigerian farmers, is one of the reasons why we brought about this program. I can tell you that with the Produce for Lagos, all farmers who are registered in the program at least now have a succor in that program, that when I produce, my own job is just to call them that what you asked me to produce is ready, and they will take on that day. And with that, the guaranteed price, minimum price that we have agreed, you will get it. With that, you are sure that you are not going to lose money.
Well, on that note, we'd like to thank you very much, Prince S.J. Samuel, for joining us on This Day Live, the Sunday talk show, to discuss something very important to Nigerians. We must be able to feed ourselves. After all, they say, no farmer, no nation. But can we create the system, the right system, for offtake, for production, from farm to the market to the table? Thank you very much indeed, Prince Samuel.